Hi guys, hope you are doing good. This is Sharik, your host. Today's session we are discussing about Linux Firewall. What is the purpose of Linux Firewall? Why do we require Linux Firewall? I will give you complete session about Linux Firewall. About there is a, if you are talking about Linux Debian and Linux Fedora, there is minor difference between Debian and Fedora. Now I'm working on Fedora Linux. It's a CentOS server. So CentOS is similar kind of Red Hat Linux. So first thing we need to know about what is Linux firewall. Why do we require Linux firewall? You can say in a single word, it is a digital shield of protection. Linux firewall is a digital shield of protection. Why do we require? We wanted to protect your data from external threat. You wanted, suppose Linux is a system. Your system wanted to take a protection from our external access. So that's why we are using Linux firewall. And what is the purpose of Linux firewall? The purpose of Linux firewall used to protect against unauthorized access. So suppose some of the hackers come to your knew about your domain and knew about your IP. He wanted to access your privacy. He wanted to access your data. On that scenario, Linux file used to block unauthorized access. So that's why we are using Linux firewall. And it's used to Linux firewall used to the protection of your data. Do we require Linux firewall? As I believe you understood why do we require Linux firewall. What is the purpose of Linux firewall? Used to protect your data, used to protect your system from unauthorized access. So now I will going to enable the Linux firewall in this Linux server. So first command we need to type systemctl systemctl. We are not using sudo because I'm already a root user. If I'm not a root user, I need to use sudo command. So why do we require sudo? Is it giving a root access, temporary root access? We are using sudo command. So now systemctl enable firewall ld firewall ld. So now I'm going to enable the firewall. And this CentOS server, CentOS similar kind of Red Hat Linux. So just press enter. So now I have enabled the firewall. Now I'm going to start firewall. How to start firewall? So SY again we need to type system ctl start fire, and we can firewall ld, and we can also use service. We can also use service or firewall ld. We can use. Just press. So now I have started my firewall. So now I will going to tell you how to check the status of your firewall. How can we check the status of firewall? So we can also use systemctl status firewall ld or firewall ld.services. Just press enter. So you can check my firewall is active now. Time and date. This is my firewall is activated. I have activated my firewall. So you can check the status of firewall running. So if you wanted to check the status of firewall, which state of your firewall, you can also check like firewall firewall cmd space dash dash two time dash unity type stat. Now I'm going to check the state of firewall. Is it running state or no? So it will tell you about firewall is active. It's running state. Just press enter. So you can check here. Firewall is running state. If my firewall is stop, I will show you. Systemctl stop Firewall. Now I'm going to stop my firewall. I have stopped my firewall. So now I will going to check the state of firewall. The firewall state will be not running. Like same systemctl cmd. Sorry, firewall. I am going to check the state of firewall, not status. So firewall firewall cmd double dash stat state. So you can check my firewall is not running state. So status of firewall we can also check. Systemctl status firewall. So my firewall is not inactive. My firewall is not running. So I wanted to start. How to start firewall? We can use same command which we have used. Systemctl start fire LLD or services we can use. So now my firewall is active mode, running state. You can state is running and status is active. So again I'm going to check system CTL status fire LLD. Now my firewall is active now. State we can also check SYS firewall LD firewall command state. Now my firewall is in running state. So this what I have covered. I have tell you how to enable firewall, how to start firewall, how to stop firewall, and how can we check the state of firewall. Is it running state or no? How so now I will tell you how to add the zone in firewall and how to add the port, public port in firewall, and how to customize your port in firewall. So these all the complete session I am going to cover. So I will specify the specific port with the zone and with the TCP port and UDP port. As you are aware about TCP port and UDP port, I already covered this thing in my previous session. So I will tell you how to enable and add permanent state. In port, we can use for permanent state. If we suppose why we are going to use permanent, I will show you first. Going to show you. I will going to specify specific port in firewall. So here, suppose I am going to add firewall CMD. Now I am going to add HTTP and HTTPS port to public zone. Okay. So firewall command, I have typed firewall command, then zone double dash zone. Zone will be public because publicly I can access this server. So I need to use public and home will be private. Public, and now I will going to add the port which will I am going to use. Add port will be whatever port you wanted to use. Now I'm going to use my customized port. I will also tell you how to change your port and which protocol you are going to use, TCP or UDP. So I'm going to use TCP. So here, if I will not use firewall command zone public add port this in permanent, then while we are going to restart my server or shut down my server, this zone public and this port will be not permanent state. So if I wanted to, if I will going to use permanent, while we are going to restart my PC, restart my server, shut down my server, on that state we can on that state we can use same port, and that port is already enabled. We don't need to type the code again to enable the port and enable the zone. So as I believe you understood, and here I need to use permanent. Just press enter. So here, as you can just success, my this port 8082 in TCP protocol is permanent, is active. Which state I have selected, the TCP state, protocol will be TCP, port will be 8082, and zone. What will be my zone? Zone will be public. It's not home. Home will be private. So now I'm going to again use for UDP firewall CMD. You can shift the code. So I will use add port first. Add. You can just shift whatever permanent is first, or you can do it whatever you like. So I will show you PORD port. So 8082 UDP stay space 2 time dash permanent. Then public zone will be public. Zone will be public. Then present. So it's success. So I have added the two same port with a different protocol, TCP and UDP. And state will be permanent. While we are going to restart my server, Linux server, we are going to reboot my server. While we are going to shut down my server, the state will be active. So I have covered. And if you wanted to remove, how to remove your specific port, this port I have enabled. I have added this port. So I wanted to remove this port and we're going to add another port. How to do that? I will give you another example. Firewall command. Suppose I will not use add port, will be 80 TCP. Okay. Then zone will be public or whatever you want. Zone double dash zone public. So I have used this. So I have added this 80 port in zone public. I didn't use permanent state. So it will be not permanent. So now I will going to remove this specific port which I have added. So again you need to use firewall command space double dash remove port, remove port, whatever port you have you used, KT, TCP. What will be the zone? Whatever zone you have added, my zone will be public. I have added the zone expression. So you can check here. My added port, if I use for disable this. So same thing you can use, same thing you can use in bash script. I will show you how will you use this in bash script. Suppose I will going to create a script like, suppose, so in a home directory, I will show you. This is my all script which I have right here. This is all my script. So I will tell you, just you need to type I will use nano editor. You can use nano editor or I will going to use vi editor. Suppose I'm going to use my vi editor. So here my I will use firewall wall protection. I will give the name pure protection. Prot. Okay. Sh. Okay. Sh. Then press enter. I will going to use VI editor to implement this all whatever step we wanted to follow in firewall we can use for to write. You can use also in script in a bash script. Just press enter. So here I have used bash script editor. Press I for in insert mode hash. Sorry, hash. I will going to use bash editor. So I will need to use bash not sign backslash then bin bash. Which script I'm using? I'm going to use bash script. So now I will type. I will going to type here systemctl enable firewall ld. So this bash, while we are going to run the bash script, it will be auto will be run all the script. Like I will give you example here. So again, I need to type systemctl like same whatever protection I have used. I need to use in script. So here start fire d or you can use firewall.services ld.services. Okay. Then if you wanted to use port, whatever port you have, if you didn't use permanent, so like here fire firewall dot command zone. Zone will be public. Whatever services you are going to use, which services you are going to use. I will going to HTTP and HTTPS. This public service we are going to use. I will going to use HTTP and HTTPS. You can use ADD service. Service will be HTTP. State, if you wanted to, state will be permanent. If you don't want to, then you can leave it. You need to just run the script. I will going to use permanent. Then again, I am going to use. I have used HTTP port. Protocol will be HTTP, and the next protocol will be same HTTPS. Like same, you can your write firewall command zone will be public. Public service will be HTTPS. HTTPS state will be permanent. So I'm using service will be HTTP and I will going to enable HTTP and HTTPS both protocol. Now the same thing we are going to use firewall again fire command and now I will going to use which state will be zone which zone I will going to use public zone public and now I will going to which port we are going to enable same port I will going to enable 2 dash port is then what will be your port 8082 then space which protocol TCP I am going to use TCP so state will be permanent which state we are going to permanent then finish then escape quotation WQ now you are going to save this escape like this so if you wanna run the script so now I have write the bash script. So I wanted to run this bash script. So how to run the bash script? So this bash script I have created. This bash script file I have created. but I didn't give the permission. Let's check the permission of this bash script. This bash script permission which I have given only read write permission. I didn't give the execution permission, execute permission. So I need to assign the execute permission so I can run the code, whichever code I have created. So I will use ch chmod, then plus execution, then script file name firewall space and then press. Now you can check the script right. Script state and the read permission you will get. Again, just ls-rta. Now you are having execution permission also. So how to run? So you need to run two types. You can run bash space firewall name and then press enter. So now you can check all your code is running successfully. So I have got the one error in pod because I made a mistake here. I will going to edit this. So vi firewall and press enter, which I have made. So I will going to use press I for insertion mode, then colon wq state. Now I will going to again run the script. So now you can check here my all script is running successfully because it's already running HTTP because I already enabled before this code. So how can you another method to run the bash script dot forward slash the script name. What is the script name? I have write firewall dot sh present. This is type you can also run. So guys, this is the overview complete session about firewall, Linux firewall, about Fedora. And Fedora and Debian, if you're talking about Debian, there is a minor kind of difference between Fedora and Fedora Linux and Debian Linux. So these are the complete overview about Linux firewall. So guys, if you are having any kind of doubt, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.